And hello everyone friends, Potato is with you, and this is a guide for the new Crate 0.4 on the Minecraft version 1.18. But before you start watching, be sure to subscribe to me and click on the bell so as not to miss new videos. I also want to say hello to Maxim, but if you also want me to say hello to you, then just write a creative comment, and maybe you will get into the next video. But we're getting started. The first thing that changed was that copper was removed. There is simply no copper in the Create now, but it has been replaced by copper from Minecraft. That is, we have a crate moving exactly in step with the times and with the update of Minecraft. Now it will not add any unnecessary copper, as it was done, for example, in previous versions. Or for example, you can remember how, let's say on version 1.7.10, we had a lot of mods, and copper was completely from different mods, let's say from industrial, from forest and similar mods. And when you were digging in the mines, let's say you had about 5 pieces of copper here, I don't know from industrial, here from forest, here from Terra, I don't know, they're about 10 pieces. And it still didn't dock, and it's completely inconvenient. Now Keith has thought it out for us. And as soon as the crate was updated to version 1.17 and 1.18, it now simply does not have its own ore, namely copper. It is replaced, as I said, by copper from ordinary Minecraft, which seems to me really very cool, and speaks about the elaboration of this mod. And now look what we're going to have here. Well, of course, when we break ore, we get exactly this kind of ore copper. Then we can melt it down, get ingots, or we can crush it and get crushed copper ore, and also something else. But we'll talk about this a little later. That is, you will not be able to use this copper as crushed. It will definitely need to be reworked in order to be used in some crafts, or let's say, washed. And of course, we also have copper ingots and from ordinary Minecraft. But I want to tell you that if you miss copper so much, which we had in previous versions, you can go to the resource kit. And here we have a mod installed immediately with such a texture pack resource pack. And click here on the arrow, add it to your Minecraft, and see the textures are back to the old ones. This is now a copper ingot with a crate, but actually from Minecraft, just a different texture. I also want to tell you that here we have added completely new variations of blocks, namely copper blocks, which we will also change their textures a little like this, namely oxidize. Naturally, we have not only such blocks, but also many others. That is, we had all the copper tiles, then we had copper half blocks of all four varieties, steps and so on. There are also waxed, or as it is covered with wax. Well, in short, I think you understand what I mean. There are also tiles of all these oxidations here. By the way, oxidation has already started. You can see that we have now equalized them. In short, let's just break them. We also have, you may remember, zinc ore. Well, now we have an unusual zinc ore, and also, such a deep zinc ore that you can meet somewhere. Well, deep in general, somewhere at 0 or even lower altitude. And now that you break this ore, let's see what we get. First of all, we will get an unusual ore, and now we'll see. We broke ordinary ore and got raw zinc, it will need to be redone. Now we break down the deep ore, we also get raw zinc in the amount of 1 piece. Let's say it's, well, like ore, just a little bit in a different form. First of all, you will be able to make a raw zinc block out of this raw zinc. That's how he looks, by the way. Well, if it has an interesting sound, let's listen. No, it just has the sound of an ordinary stone, let's say. And this is a decorative block, but you can also crush it and get crushed zinc ore and something else. But there are also other options. Let's see what we can make from raw zinc. We will be able to do melting first and get a regular zinc ingot, and then we can also compress it naturally, remake it here, and we can also grind it. That is, as well as ordinary zinc ore. We will get crushed zinc ore, then we can wash it, let's say. That is, it is still impossible to wash it in this form, it is necessary to process it. Next, let's take a look at the new blocks and items that have been added with this update. But not only with this. There was, however, another update that added such a briefcase before that. I decided just not to do the guide, otherwise the video would have turned out for 2 or 3 minutes. Well, it seems to me it's about nothing. Therefore, we will analyze it today. First of all, this is the Volt Atom. This is a kind of storage for items, let's say. You may remember that we have a reservoir like this, which we can build there. Let's say we can in height like this. I'm just showing it on the ground right now. So in general, now we have not only 4 liquids, but also 4 objects. It is made from a barrel, and also 2 iron ingots. Let's take it. I'll also take shafts, mechanical belts, brass funnels of all sorts, and also a chest, to show how the whole thing works in general. Let's fly somewhere here. The first variation can be one-on-one. It's just that you put it, and, in principle, it is already a repository. You can't go into it, but in fact, he can store items for himself if you feed him with funnels, well, and other items. Let's say a mechanical belt. You can extend it to 3, then the next structure begins. In other words, this is the maximum 1-on-1-on-3. You can also make look like this 2x2, and you can also extend this thing, and only horizontally, vertically in any way. But that is already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is already our new starting structure, so we can only make 6. And finally, the last structure is our 3x3 largest, and in length. Let's see now how much it will be. So, we do 3x3, 1, that is, it's already 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. This is our new structure, so 9 blocks are 3x3 by 9. Here is such a huge container, is a complete structure, that is, it is considered to be just a huge chest. Well, let's work with him now and we will. Namely, let's put some objects on the belt here, let's say, in this way. I'll also take some kind of motor, let's say it's creative, and set it to negative speed so that the tape goes here. Also here, I will make a funnel, and throw it here, let's say so chests. Great, they are now going through the funnel, right into this storage. There's no way you can get him out of here. But in order to get, and let's say here, I will put another shaft, a belt like this, and I will also put a brass funnel here. I power up the whole thing, and look at these chests coming out of this storage. Well, in general, all this huge storage is as many chests as there are these blocks here. That is, 3x3 is 9 for us, and also 9 times 9 is 81. Here, we have 81 chests in the form of one structure, which seems to me very convenient. Naturally, you can put some filters here. Let's say I want to make a filter for only chests here, and I throw here first. Let's say the shaft, and then the chests. This is all coming in. The chests are coming out, but the shaft is not coming out. We remove the filter, and now the shaft is already coming out. In short, I think you understand how this whole thing works. Then a new repeater was added, called pulse extender. This is a type of pulse repeat, only work a little differently. Let's take it now, and also by the way, probably a pulse repeater, that you just see the difference. I'll put a pulse here, this pulse extender is here. And let's connect this whole thing here, and here we just take it away to see the signal, and let's let the lever be here. Then here I will set the delay on a regular repeater, let's say a second, and here let's give 3 seconds. Although let's have 3 seconds here too. Now I activate the lever, and look carefully. Here we have a signal immediately, but it lasts 3 seconds, and here, it is served after 3 seconds, and lasts literally 1 tick, well, just to give a signal. Let's look at this carefully again. Here, it lasts for 3 seconds, so active, then it goes out for us, and here after 3 seconds, it just ticks for us. By the way, it's pretty expensive to craft. Here, you will need 3 stones, red stone dust, brass sheet, and also 2 redstone torches. It will all be very noticeable, let's say, on some kind of lantern. Let me take the redstone lantern now, put it right here, and press the lever. Look here, we have a signal. And wait, we have 2 ticks here, I rearranged it. Okay, correction. We put it on for 3 seconds, and so let's put it on. We activate everything for 3 seconds. The lantern is lit, and here the lantern is lit after 3 seconds, literally 1 tick. Next, let's finally consider such a brown toolbox. In this case, it's brown. We can repaint it with you, but in any of the colors we want. Let's assume purple. Hop like that, connect. It turns out we have a purple toolbox like this, look what it is. By the way, let me even put it right away. I shouldn't have broken it. We can go into it now. Here we can put any objects at all, but they will dock very interestingly. Let's say I'll put a tree here, an iron axe, and an egg. 16 eggs. And now let's try to do the same thing, but as we put the tree here, look, it fits together. It turns out 128 in one slot, 192 more times, and finally 256. You can't put anything else in here. Then, there will be a new slot to study with us. And here are such single objects that we do not fit together in any way in the ordinary world, but we can also dock. And it will turn out to be a maximum of 4. And here are the ones that fit together at 16. It will turn out to be a maximum of so in a stack, by the way, just the same. It will turn out that 64 eggs, let's say, in one slot. Also, let's say we can take 1 or even 2 axes, eggs with a tree, an axe, and then click on this button, Return Atom Toolbox, that is, return the items to the toolbox. We click on it, and all the items are packed here, which we had here. Well, that is the shadow. Look, here we have 0. As it were written, we can't take anything, but the shadow remains, and if we click here, then they just come back here. And these are all here that don't have a shadow, they stay here. By the way, look carefully at its animation. It is very elaborate. Look, there's something coming out from below. Some of these drawers here, the lid opens at all from above, and the sound is so straight metallic. Listen. It's really cool. Also, This tall box can spread its aura within a radius of 9 blocks from itself, so to speak, and you can take items from it. I just pinched the viola, the left viola, and now I can take, let's say, wood in my hands. I just clamp the viola, and it's all removed from me. Let's say I want an axe. Up took an axe like this, and went to chop. I pinched the viola, I want eggs. I threw them, that's how I spent the hop, and I pinched the viola again. I squeeze it out. I don't choose anything, and they are removed from me back to the toolbox. I go further than putting on the blocks. Nothing works. I come up, now I can take a tree again. Let's say, put it up, put it back. In short, it is very convenient. This is especially true for builders. There are a lot of attacks here. By the way, this toolbox rises only in survival mode. You click here and up. You have it very quickly. Like this, it rises and is transferred to the inventory. By the way, look at the animation of how we wear it. It looks really cool. Literally like this, we will take it away by the handle and drag it with us. Also, we can load this toolbox as with the help of funnels. Let's say let's put it right here on top. We can put a brass funnel here. Here is a brass funnel. We can attach it here, and everything will be served perfectly here. Well, let's throw it here. Up. Through how many funnels? In short, here's one thing, and she moved here. We can also unload using a chute. We put a gutter here from the bottom, and everything is discharged perfectly. In short, really this toolbox is very well developed. Then we also have these nuggets of experiment. You might think it's a new species. What are they called there? Exquisite radiance, and also another material. I don't remember what the name of ghost steel is, but in general, this is not it. It's just a nugget of experience, like a material embodiment or something. In short, we press the PCM and get a lot of experience. So here, I have the 11th level now, but in my opinion, it turns out with a stack of these items here 9 levels or something like that. But how to get them? They turn out quite simply, and you will only need to make crushing wheels. Let me put them somewhere right here now. 1, 1, 2, then here is their comma, so that they look in the right direction. And immediately I will make more speed 256, and here also 256. Great. Now I throw here, let's say 1 copper ore. It's being redone very quickly. We get a 75% chance of 1 nugget of the experiment. And by the way, also, 6 crushed copper ore. Seriously. Wait, is this serious? So much? By the way, look, now we get as many as 5 crushed copper ores from 1 copper ore. And 25% of the chance we will get another one, 75 is nugget, and also 12% cobblestone. But, if we have deep copper ore, look what will happen. Here, we will get not 5, but 7 guaranteed crushed copper ore, 25 more additional. And accordingly everything else is exactly the same. In short, deep copper ore is much cooler. Well, let's see how much we get from a stack of copper ore of these nuggets here. It should turn out to be about 3/4, that is, it's 48 in my opinion of these nuggets. Come on 45. A little unlucky. But look at how much crushed copper ore. Wait, isn't that too much? I think it's too much. Perhaps this is due to the fact that ore is rare. Yes, most likely so. And what about zinc by the way? By the way, I didn't check it either. Let's check it out. Let's take both deep and ordinary ones. So here we get it, but by the way, 1 crushed and 75 additional, and here we get 2 crushed and 25 additional. In short, yes, apparently such quantities are due to the fact that we have very little copper ore in the world. Then, we also added casings for our gears at last. Now we can put them on and cover them up. Let me show you now where it will be useful. I'll put up a wall like this. Let's say yes. In short, let's say there is a small gear. I'll leave a casing on them. Here, we have a casing on the big one that looks like this. Perhaps it is not very worked out. Somehow yes, I agree, as if the block is here, but in principle it is also good. And on a small gear like this, but here it's already cooler by the way. But what is all this for? Let's leave the skin here, although no, we won't even leave it. Let's power up this big gear, make more speed. No, not that big, let's say 32. That's great. I am also putting a big one here, and as you know, in order to accelerate the speed here, we are connecting the whole thing in this way. Here we will have even more speed if we put here such an ordinary small gear, but it will break down because the speed here is high. Here it is different, but smaller. And how to fix this whole thing? There was no way before, but now we just put a casing here, and there is no shaft here. Now we can put a gear here, and everything is fine. It will spin here. It will not connect with this gear in any way. In short, it has now become much more convenient, and the mechanism can be made more compact. Also, an improved version of granite, diorite and so on, is now being added with cret. Here, we have a sweet granite, which in my opinion is translated as improved, or I may be wrong. Well, in short, it doesn't matter. The main thing is that it is so polished now, and, in principle, it can be just the same crafted. He will not meet in the world. That's the same thing we will have with diorite, as well as andesite, calcite, tough, deep shale. By the way, look how pretty he is. And also a new stone is added here, this is Ozurin. It is not made here in any way, it is only found in the world. Well, that is with a cret. It is also added to cremsite, such as improved versions of it, limestone and improved versions of it, ochrum and improved version of it. By the way, many of these stones are being redone here. I will also show you no, as well as ash improved versions of it. Here is such a churchina, something like a burnout of some kind, also an improved version of it. And finally viridium, and its improved versions. All these new blocks are also found all over the world, and especially in our very cool mines here. So for some reason, I really like this one very much, and Zirin or something like that. I don't know how it translates, but it's very beautiful in short. And the following blocks are being redone with us. This is cremsite, and Zirin, ochrum, veritum, and also tough. Let's see what we can make of them. And by remaking, I mean shredding. We can get 40% chance of crushed iron from cremsite, and so, 40% chance of a piece of iron. And also because of Zuin, we can get zinc here already 30% chance. From ochre 20% chance of gold. From viridium 80% chance of copper, which is quite a lot. And out of 100, and we can get here, 25% chance of silicon, 10% chance of gold, copper, zinc, and also iron. In short, everything you need. In fact, we can even make an infinite source of all ores out of it, or something like that. Well, there was a potato with you. Be sure to subscribe, like, write comments, and also click on the bell so as not to miss new videos.